We've all been there. We know they like us. We could take a little bit longer to respond and they're still going to be there. But then one day, all of a sudden, something changes. All of a sudden, they start taking a longer time to respond. All of a sudden, they're not as hurt that you have to cancel plans. Heck, they might even fucking jump for joy. All of a sudden, they're canceling plans. All of a sudden, they're a little late to the meetings. They leave, they arrive late, they leave early. And it dawns on us, something's different. We don't have the same power we had over you. Understand this. Whenever somebody's in love with us, whenever somebody is chasing us, there is a power that people feel, an addictive power. And that power is the power to control them, the power to sway their emotions, the power to influence them, the power to tell them, come with me, the power to tell them, let's have a future together. And that power is intoxicating, and some people abuse it, some people don't. But the point is that is a power that people feel. And it's the type of power that one, people take for granted, and two, once it's lost, they yearn it with a lot of intensity. So let's talk about what people think when you stop chasing them. Because understand, constant validation, consistently having power over someone, which usually means, in this case, chasing someone, falling in love with them. Because understand, when people fall in love, they both have power over each other. You get what I'm saying? It's not like a toxic thing. But one of the qualities of having that sense of power, having that sense of validation, is that it suppresses negative emotions. It suppresses painful emotions and painful thoughts about yourself that are in your unconscious. All of those thoughts that you're not good enough become suppressed under the light of someone's unconditional validation. All of the negative self-hatred a person feels gets suppressed, it's the key word, under the light of someone else's validation. Most people don't believe the words they tell themselves. They don't believe that they're great. They don't believe they're worthy of love. They usually only believe it if somebody else tells them. We value other people's opinion about us more than our own self-opinion. It's human nature. We're social creatures. So one of the things, when you stop chasing them and validating them, what tends to happen is that whatever suppressed emotions they had, any uncontrollable emotions from childhood usually, get brought up to the surface. And if they deep down liked you, but because you were consistently validating them, they suppress those feelings and those thoughts and realizations about how they feel about you. It rises to the surface like an exploding volcanoes in fucking cartoons. Like it just explodes. First of all, people, I genuinely thought volcanoes explode like an idiot. I really thought volcano I really thought volcanoes explode like in the movies, right? It's like oh shit, there's a cow up there. Anyways, so what will happen is that they will start chasing you as a result. Why? Because chasing is usually done to relieve emotion. Why? Because chasing gives us validation. Their validation suppresses emotions, like a drug that suppresses pain. And depending on how much pain this person has, they'll switch up the roles they have with you and become the chaser. So all of a sudden, they're going to be unhappy. They might lose control. And they'll go back to whatever coping mechanisms they had before you. Another thing that happens outside of experiencing the painful emotions that we usually try to hide through consistency, through consistent patterns of behavior, habit, and getting other people's love, is that you start to feel confused. And that confusion will cause a person to want to get some clarity from you, which means chasing. Initially, they feel confused about why the person has suddenly stopped chasing them. It could raise questions about the other person's intentions and motives. All of a sudden, you become more mysterious. All of a sudden, they don't really understand you. All of a sudden, now they have to pay deeper attention to you. Now they're going to notice who you added on Instagram. What are you thinking? Why are you taking one extra minute to respond when before you took you a certain amount of seconds? Now all of a sudden, you blink the wrong way. And all of a sudden, they say, why are you blinking that way? Are you blinking because you're fine? You found somebody else? Motherfucker, I'm blinking. Okay, I gotta blink. It's no big. You can't be looking too into it. But when you like someone, when they confuse you with their behavior, when they scramble their patterns, when they stop chasing, when you thought they'll never stop chasing, All of a sudden, now I got to pay more attention to you because now I can't predict you. Right? And usually it's best. This usually happens after a few days. At first, they don't notice the changes. You know, you took a long time today to respond. Okay, but you're always going to be there. But what usually happens is that one day they're taking a shower and it dawns on them. They're like, you know what? Lately Quintisha has been acting like just cold all of a sudden. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like, she's usually here twice a week. She has been here all week. Like, is her dog really dead? Or is it bullshit? Like that, especially when it dawns on people, it really hurts. So what will happen? Then they will start testing you. One, depending on the ego, right? But usually they start testing you, right? And they usually test you by chasing. They test you by chasing. They're like, okay, does she really like me? In my case, I was like, does she really like me? Let me do something for her. Let me chase. Let's go. Let's meet up. Let me see if I can get her out. Let me see if I can get her to meet me. So then they start chasing you. They start doing more romantic gestures. They start giving you gifts, taking you to the best place to eat, making you that gift, telling you what you want to hear, just to see whether or not you could go back to your good old-fashioned behavior. And once they sense that maybe it was temporary, two things might happen. If they really like you, that behavior that they're doing now of chasing you will continue. If they don't like you, or if this is just an ego boost, they'll behave that way for a short time and then go back to their bullshit behavior. Right? Emotions they felt about you becomes felt when you stop chasing. That's another thing. Again, like I said, too much validation suppresses emotions from consciousness. When you validate people too much, their body's gonna know that they like you because their body reacts to you, but the mind is not gonna register it. Your cortex is not gonna register it. So it requires an absence, a pulling away, a sense of separation, an inevitable doom of the relationship for them to, for their body to give an alert signal to their conscious mind to realize they want you, to realize they like you. Because, you know, when you consistently validate someone, it creates a disconnection between their bodies and their minds. In other words, it separates them from reality. The reality of how they feel about you. The reality that you really matter to them. But because you're consistently on the offensive, never giving people space to breathe or chase, those things never come to consciousness. To make it come to consciousness, pull away from them. Let them chase. And their brain will tell them what matters to them. Why? Because at the moment of death, before we die, the brain will put in our minds, in our face, what's most important. Your kids, your family, your friends, this, that. It's not going to show you the little things that didn't matter, like a taxi cab that robbed you that one time in Mexico City. Right? It's not going to bring that up. It's just going to show you what matters. In other words, your conscious mind might not know what matters. Or maybe you're in a mindset where you want validation from people. Maybe you want money, right? And maybe your body doesn't want that, but your ego wants that. When you are confronted with reality, your body by force forces you to see what matters. Your family, your health, your friends. All of the egoic thing at the face of death goes away because the ego can never come. The ego can never be in front of death. It usually just takes a back seat temporarily. And so what happens is that your unconscious emerges and tells you what matters. And this is a metaphor of death. Stopping chasing, not responding, acting hot and cold all of a sudden. Those are all metaphoric deaths that the body reacts in a similar way, where it'll push into your consciousness what matters. And in this case, might be you. And that usually happens when people pull away, when you stop chasing. Now, what tends to happen sometimes is that the person gets relieved. You're too freaking crazy. You got too much psycho energy, the creepy vibes. You talk too much with your hunch like that. And then, hey, how's it going? Like you give too much creepy vibes. And so what tends to happen is that sometimes people feel relief. If they feel relief at the fact that you're not chasing, you got to look at yourself in the mirror. You're doing something wrong. You're not paying attention to them. You're not sensing them wanting some space. You're too in your head, like I said. Another thing is that all of a sudden you look more attractive. All of a sudden they want to be around you. All of a sudden, you seem to have more of an edge. You seem more interesting. All of a sudden, they want to text you more. All of a sudden, there's a warmness to your presence. People, as crazy as it sounds, always being in the pursuit and never taking a step back and not doing anything, it would literally make you uglier. If you stop chasing, all of a sudden you lost weight. All of a sudden you went to Dr. Oz and got some plastic surgery. All of a sudden, Lord, you did some jumping jacks. All of a sudden you got some skin fucking foliate or whatever you call that. Not chasing gives you a halo effect, especially when you came from a perspective of you were always chasing. Because it ruins the vibe, man. Over pursuing someone ruins your vibe. It makes you look desperate. People don't like desperate people. They just don't. They give us a bad feeling, a bad vibe. This tends to divorce you from reality when you're not really paying attention to people. And sometimes this is important. Sometimes people feel relief. They're like, oh, thank God I could breathe. Jesus Christ, this chick is crazy. A few days go by. That happened to me, right? Where this girl, this beautiful Georgian girl, Jesus Christ, one of my first girls I dated when I was younger, and when she was with me, my God, she just didn't give me space. I'm like, bitch, let me breathe. I said in my mind, because I didn't want to tell her that. I felt bad. And so the whole 2 weeks she was with me, and I'm like thinking of the clock. I'm like, yo, when is this Monday coming? Jesus Christ. And she left. I remember feeling relief. I remember just like taking a shower and I'm like, oh, thank God this girl's not here no more. Jesus Christ. And then a few weeks later, all of a sudden, I start noticing that this guy is all of a sudden liking her photos and commenting, and she's responding. All of a sudden, all of those feelings that I had of like, thank God this chick left, went away. What it revealed to me is that I liked her, and I just needed space to recover. Like recovering from a workout or recovering from something. I needed space. You were too much for me. And because of that, once I got the space, then I was able to feel what I felt about her, which was I liked her, right? So you felt relief. For some people, may feel relief and never feel that desire for you, even if you wait. You know? It's always, look, I always say, man, you could chase, like I'm a guy, I'll chase a girl, right? Like I'll chase a girl. But if she is not giving me the same energy back, I'm gonna stop chasing. That's how it's done. I'll chase you as a guy, but if you're not giving me that same energy back, I'm gonna stop chasing. And usually what happens with women is that they'll notice, and they usually have a decision to make. And if they like you, they're gonna start chasing you as well. You know what I'm saying? Because they know they fucked up. They know they didn't match your energy. Like people know when someone's putting more effort. People know when they're exploiting you metaphorically, right? Not so evilly, but people know when it's disbalanced, and people know when you pull away after chasing them consistently. They instinctively know that they should maybe put some effort to make it up to them. That's how that works, people. And if they don't realize that, then that means they don't give a fuck about you, and you're annoying them, and you need to leave them. All right. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want to work with me one-on-one, go to mindfulattraction.org, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. All right, guys, we're gonna have a brief intermission so that I can tell you guys about our new bundle that we're doing, where you guys can purchase all of my courses and get it at a discount. So this bundle is pretty much the bundle where you could just buy all of my courses. You could buy Nice Guy, which is a training course on how to come across more assertive, how to come across more confident, how to not give off nice guy vibes. You guys can get access to Dark Game, which is my full dating course on how to meet women in different scenarios, how to attract women, how to make sure you don't come across as creepy, and essentially how to act like a man and not act like a doofus, to be quite honest with you. And you get all of these bonuses, which is the bonuses of Dark Game, the bonuses of Practical Mastery, which is about how to master a skill, Social Mastery, which is how to master your social life, and the Laws of Human Nature, which is a book club video that I had dissecting Robert Greene's book. All of this is naturally at around naturally is at $346, but you guys can purchase this bundle and get it at what's the price again? Get it at
$238 pretty much. So you guys can purchase it right now. It's a money back 30-day money back guarantee. It's a good way to, rather than just buying them individually and paying extra, you guys can just purchase everything at a discount price. Now, the only thing I don't like is the fact that I'm giving you a lot of information at the same time. That makes me kind of scared, because a lot of times people don't do the things that I teach when you get too much information. But I've gotten too many requests to do this, so I'm just satisfying you guys. Purchase it right now by clicking on the description down below where it says purchase the bundle. All right, let's continue with the video.